Why is it that the Almighty loving God promises a tribulation? This is a typical question of people who on one side will call him loving God, but on the other will avoid the wickedness of men. I'm sure you're trying to say it's not fair. This is it. It's like, what's going on? Aren't you a loving God? What's the story? Let me go to what the prophet Ezekiel in the 33rd chapter said to the nation of Israel. He said, "When I say to the righteous that he shall surely live, but he trusts in his own righteousness and commits iniquity, none of his righteous works shall be remembered." And then he said, "But because of the iniquity that he has committed, he shall die." And again, "When I say to the wicked, you shall surely die, and if he turns from his sin and he does what is lawful and right, if the wicked restores the pledge, gives back what he has stolen, and walks in the statutes of life without committing iniquity, he shall surely live. He shall not die. Yet you say, the way of the Lord is not fair. O house of Israel, I will judge every one of you according to his own ways." So basically what we see here is that from the very beginning, people thought, it's not fair. You're a loving God. You have no business to punish anyone. And God says, look, I'm in the business of giving life. I'm in the business of creating life. I'm in the business of telling you to choose life. But if your choice is the opposite, then the consequences thereof is on you. What is the tribulation more, punishment or mercy? Well, it's an interesting question, because if you really think about it, what we just read, the tribulation is punishment for those who reject salvation. The Bible says in John chapter 3, those who believe are not condemned, but those who do not believe are condemned already. Because by nature, we're sinners. By nature, we're evildoers. Sin entered the world, and so death came with it. The tribulation eventually will be after God's open doors of mercy were there for the whole world. And the world says, no, thank you. We don't believe in you. We don't need you. We don't want you. We want to live our ways. We have our determination of family. We have our determination of sex of a person. We decide what it is. We decide whether a baby should live or not. We decide what the moral values of this world, people in the world, prefer their ways over his ways. And then he says, when you do that, then the judgment is due. Every good thing can be good when there's bad things in the back. Example, Samson without Delilah wouldn't be the Samson that we know of. With all the stuff that happened to him with Delilah, eventually the way he died had to have had that thing before. My point is this. Before the tribulation, we're warned of the tribulation. And during the tribulation, God is still warning people that they should be saved, that they must choose him. God never, ever say to the world, you have no chance. But when the world is choosing the world ways over his ways, then God is saying, look, that's what's going to come. Okay, what am I as a little person can do to prepare myself for such a big thing you're asking? It's very easy. First of all, we have to remember God gave us today a clear description of tomorrow, which means the knowledge today can save us from the experience of tomorrow. I would advise my children and my family, based on what I know about the end times, two things. Make sure you know the Lord and walk in his ways, and share that with everyone. Share it. Share. This is a matter of death and life. This is a matter of hope and despair. This is a matter of what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. What we should not be doing is living like in the days of Noah. What we should be doing is building our ark, telling everybody of the coming flood, and making sure that right before it comes, we enter the ark. Our own ark is our faith. Our own ark is our salvation. Is our own ark is the atonement. Kofer, kapara. Noah covered it with kofer. And it's interesting because for us, our faith is our ark. For us to be taken is to enter the ark, and the flood would comes, we're above. For us, we know there is a flood coming. We have a warning. We are telling people a flood is coming. But if they choose, as in the days of Noah, if they choose to ignore, if they choose not to listen, even though you tell them what's going to happen, that's it. The same Ezekiel said, we should be like watchmen. A watchman is walking up to see if the enemy is coming. And then he needs to tell the people, the enemy is coming. If he warned the people that the enemy is coming, and the enemy came and killed them, their blood is not on his hand. But if he saw the enemy coming and he never warned the people, the blood is on his hands. Here we are. We know what's coming. Here we are. We know what's next. And what are we doing? We're playing games, sensationalism. We're confusing more than we're helping. And then it's like crying wolf, wolf. And when the wolf comes, no one is ready. Because we've been there, we've done that, we've heard it before. And then everybody is not ready. And when the wolf is coming, that's it. It's too late. See, our responsibility is not only to share the truth, but the manner in which we share it. The responsibility to divide the word of truth rightly. Do not take things out of context and leave the Bible as is to interpret itself. And do not hype things just because you want to be famous or popular, get views, or get some sort of a gain from this thing. It's playing with fire, and it's playing with the life of people. It's a matter of death and life. It's not a matter of likes or followers. This is exactly why I wrote this book. This book is the most evangelistic book I ever wrote, because the whole hope of the world is the gospel, but it's also in order to avoid confusion and redeem the time in these last days.